right, everybody. Thank you for joining me today for a special edition of the Truth Vault. So like I said in my earlier video promoting this, that it's been 1,461 days, or 4 years today, that I was hit with 8 silver bullets. I've been dreading this day actually for a week, maybe even longer. Simply because I still haven't had any contact with my kids, although I know certain family members of mine have. And I've seen these family members face to face, and it seems like I don't exist. So that is the joys of being hit with a silver bullet, even one of them, is that a lot of times you don't have a lot of support. So like Johnny Depp has said in the past, that if there's an injustice in the world and somebody's standing up for themselves, stand by them. Don't ignore them, because they need you. I've listened to many, many stories over these last 4 years, which is why I've always promoted unity, compassion, and understanding. Because we have to have those 3 simple things to be able to survive this crazy fucking world that we live in. And being hit with a silver bullet, you're going to just find out how crazy it is and how fucked up it is. So, like I said, today is 4 years to the day that I was hit with 8 silver bullets, and it was quite shocking at the time, I can tell you that. I can honestly say that I did not see it coming. I did not see the people in my life going along with it either. There was a certain few that, yes, maybe I did, but there was a certain few that shocked me. And you're going to find that if you've ever been in this situation, you know I'm telling the truth on this. The court system allows these things to happen, and it's not right. No evidence is required. We know this. No history is even required. We know this, and I know this for fact. Prior to all this, I don't have a criminal record. I still don't, actually. But I was charged. So as of August 6, 2019, it took me 16 months to fight that, to be exonerated of it. But I can tell you right now, it doesn't end there. It continues. Especially when you deal with a narcissist. Especially when you deal with somebody that is extremely jealous and can't control you anymore. So how do they control you? Well, they control you by taking your kids away. And there's many of us out there that have been through that and are still going through that. So out of the 8 silver bullets, there was one that hit me the hardest. And still to this day, it is still difficult to talk about. Just thinking about it, I'm getting choked up already. And it was an allegation against my own daughter, which a lot of people may not even know, because this is something that I really don't like to talk about, because this is my flesh and blood. the person that I created and brought into this world. And it was a completely false allegation, very disturbing, disgusting, and it shows just how much jealousy, rage, whatever you want to call it, a person can go through and then try and destroy you because of it. So today, I am here to share my golden bullet. I've talked about the silver bullet many times. Over the last 4 years, I've written reports on the silver bullet. I've done many videos on the silver bullet. You all know what the silver bullet is. But you're probably wondering, what's the golden bullet, Rich? Well, I've termed the golden bullet as your proof that you did not do these things. And a lot of people don't have this because a lot of these allegations are completely false. They never happened. So how do you get your golden bullet? Well, you got to have trust in people. And that's very difficult, I know, to have when usually the closest person to you is the one that has caused all of this, or the closest person to you at some point in time. And with the majority of us, that's going to be our exes, the people that we had children with. So my golden bullet, I have a few of them. I actually have a folder right here, which I've dug out of my own vault. And that's why I've termed this whole series that I've started in the last couple of months, the Truth Vault, because I've taken a lot of things out of the Truth Vault. Because I have in my head, enough is enough. I will fight to the death for my kids. Whereas a lot of people out there won't. They fear the truth. Because what the truth does is it makes them hold up a mirror to their own self. So everybody that's joining in, I thank you very much for joining and tuning in today. It's been a difficult day. But I will make it through. Because that's what fucking warriors do. We don't give up. We keep fighting. And we will win. I have a lot of support on this. Like I said, this has been going all over the internet in the last couple of days. I've been getting messages from TikTok even. People that are going to tune in. People that are going to share this video. And that's what I ask all of you to do. Once I release this golden bullet, I urge you to share this video. Because I'm not the only one that has gone through this. And I won't be the last that has gone through this. And that's why it's very important that we have unity, compassion, and understanding. Because the world needs to see these things. The world needs to hear these things as much as they don't want to. And maybe we don't want to talk about some of these things. It's important that we do, folks. You can't fix something if people don't know about it. You know, earlier this week I spoke with Bill Corbett from Veteran Fathers. That was a very impactful interview that I had with him. And I let everybody know beforehand that Bill has a lot to say. So I let him use my platform to say what he had to say. And we have to take this as war. You know, these things have been going on for 3 decades. False allegations, silver bullet allegations, parental alienation is on the rise. And it doesn't seem like it's going to stop. So it's people like me, people like Bill, that stand up to this. and truly say, enough is enough. You know, there's lots of people out there that want to have a voice, but they fear it because of what the court system does and because of what they're going through with their exes, with custody battles, maybe court battles ongoing. I have many friends right now that are going through this exact thing right now, that are in the middle of this. And you know, the only thing that I can say is to keep your head up and fight for your truth. Fight for your kids. Because your kids cannot be your voice. You have to be that voice. You also have to be that voice for your kids. Do you want your kids to be going through these things when they get married and they get divorced? Because divorce is a extremely high rate right now. In the United States, it's at 50%. And if I have 2 kids, so the chances are is one of them is going to be going through this fucking family court system. And if I can do anything to prevent that from happening, you damn right I'm going to do it. And I urge all of you to do the same exact thing. Enough is enough. We have to be that voice. We live in a world where we have to be the voice. Our rights have been taken away all the time. We don't have rights anymore. Rights are something that's made up. You know, everybody thought that George Carlin was out of his mind when he was telling people this in the 80s and 90s. But he wasn't. He was telling the truth, but the truth didn't want to get out there. So, I leave everybody with that. And I'm going to now share my golden bullet, my bombshell, that's been in the vault for 4 years. And believe me, folks, it is disturbing. The last time that I read this, I couldn't get through it. And I read this to an ex-girlfriend of mine, thinking that there would be understanding, compassion, and unity. But some people can't. They can't handle it, and with people like that, you have to let them go. Because if you're on this path, if this is your journey, you have a higher calling. You're stronger. And you fucking well know it. So like I said, the first serious silver bullet allegation that I ever had was directed towards my daughter. Now, I'm not going to get into the allegation. I'm going to read a report from a detective of the Hamilton Police Department, Child Abuse Branch. This detective had been a detective for 25 years on the force. She's seen a lot of shit in that 25 years. And you can imagine being a detective for 25 years. You've seen and heard about the silver bullet before. And that she did. So, on August 6, 2019, like I said, I was hit with 8 silver bullets. This was the most severe. And on August 13th of 2019, I was scheduled to be interviewed at the Hamilton Police Department to be questioned on this in particular allegation. Now, when I got there, I'm going to tell you I was shitting bricks. Because I had already known about what was happening from being served a shit ton of documents on August 6th in the family court. And I want to explain to everybody that this all started in family court. This did not start in criminal court. This started in family court. And it was a direct hit to me to take my kids away from me. Because 6 months prior to all of this, I had almost 100% custody of my children. Because my ex-wife likes to play victim, likes to play that she is the most ill person in the world, and was in and out of the hospital. So this guy stood up and took care of what he had to take care of, and that was his children. And I did so. There's many documented documents out there, evidence that can support what I'm saying. Everything that I say on this platform is the truth. And one thing that I have been proud of with this platform is that not one of my posts have ever been flagged for misinformation. I cannot say that about a lot of other platforms out there. So everything that you will hear on A Father's Truth is just that, a father's truth. Now, August 13th, 2019, like I said, I was scheduled to be interviewed. The reason why that was a significant day for me is the day after, August 14th, 2019, was my 40th birthday. So you can imagine how I spent my 40th. And in a week, I'm going to be 44. So this is why I'm deciding to release my golden bullet out to the public. To urge people, again, to stand up for yourself, to stand up for your kids, and say enough is enough. Because if you want change, if you don't want your kids to go through this, these are the routes that you have to take. Because it is a biased system. It is a corrupt system. And it is meant to break you. It will fucking chew you up and spit you out like you were nothing. So we have to band together. We have to unite. We have to show compassion. And we have to understand. So by sharing this today, I hope everybody can do that. Show compassion for people that have gone through this and currently go through this. And understand the severity of what parents go through, but most importantly, the severity of what our kids have to go through. The lies that they've been fed, the manipulation that is put onto them, the secrets that they have to keep. This is where we should be headed, is protecting our kids from these predators, because that's what they are. They are predators. So here we go, folks. The bombshell that I promised you all. The document, the golden bullet that should open your eyes. And what should come out of your mouth after this is all said and done is enough is enough. I'm standing up. I am with you. So like I said, this was a witness statement that I fought for almost a year and a half to have put into the criminal system. Because I was criminally charged later on. Not with this allegation, but numerous allegations concerning my ex-wife and a friend of hers, which I'll just coin friend. But this person was also very close to me. Well, this detective will state in a court of law, and remember this, she was going to be a witness in court. I am a police officer for the city of Hamilton, and I have been so employed since January of 1995. I currently hold the rank of sergeant, and am assigned as a detective in the Victims of Crimes Unit, Child Abuse Branch. In August 2019, I was working in that capacity. On August 7th of 2019, I was assigned an investigation for follow-up where the mother was reporting that her daughter had been sexually assaulted by her ex. I contacted the mother by phone. I had conversations with the mother during which, get this, and remember this, she admitted that there had been no disclosures from her daughter regarding the father. Now, the mother stated that she believed that the father was molesting their daughter because the father was sexually assaulted by his uncle when he was a young child. The mother then went on to detail that she had been raped by the father and explained that she had medical proof. She reported being angry that the father dumped her by text message and that he is now dating her friend. The mother got extremely angry when talking about the father and his girlfriend. Jealousy. I advised her that she could file a report about the sexual assaults with the SAU. Arrangements were made for the mother to bring her daughter to the Child Abuse Branch on August 13th of 2019 at 1:30 p.m. I contacted the suspect in that matter, which is myself, and arranged for him to attend the Child Abuse Branch at 4 p.m. on the same day for an interview. On August 13th, 2019, I conducted a video interview with the daughter at 1:45 p.m. The daughter wanted to take a break during the interview and see her mother. The mother took the daughter for a walk to calm her down. During that time, I conducted a brief interview with the son at 2:27 p.m. That interview concluded at 2:52 p.m. At 2:52 p.m., I continued the interview with the daughter. During the daughter's interview, there was no, and I repeat, no disclosures of inappropriate conduct regarding the father. And she advised that her journal entries were in relation to another boy. Following the interviews, I spoke with the mother. She seemed disappointed that her daughter did not disclose abuse at her father's hand. I challenged her about her disappointment, and she became very angry, stating that she was, and this is in quotations, do her own thing tomorrow, which was on my birthday. The mother was offered a letter for family court by CAS, which is the Children's Aid Society here in Ontario. However, she declined it. I attempted to discuss the possibility of a follow-up with the 12-year-old boy the daughter stated was responsible. However, the mother did not acknowledge me and continued to say what a monster the father was. I told the mother that she could discuss further matters over the phone because the father would be attending his appointment at 4 p.m. She stalled the conversation and caused it to run into the time that the father would be attending. I arranged for the father to enter the back hallway and wait until the mother left to avoid them running into each other. I conducted a video interview with the father, during which he advised that he knew this party that his daughter was talking about. However, it would not have been possible for her to have been assaulted in the location that she described, as the scene was not enclosed and would have been easily seen by witnesses. The father also advised that his kids were around him all day and that the daughter did not go off on his own. CAS, the Children's Aid Society, offered the father a letter for family court, and he accepted. I concluded my investigation as unfounded, as the daughter advised that it was not her father that sexually assaulted her, and her father advised that the sexual assault could not have happened as described. This concludes my involvement. Got through that a little bit better than I thought. So, I appreciate that, Matt. I'm sorry, guys, I haven't been able to look at the comments because I wouldn't have been able to get through it. But thanks, Matt, I appreciate it. Because this is difficult to talk about. You know, I am a victim of sexual assault. It took me 20 years to be able to come forward on that because it was a close family member of mine. And the people that were involved in this, that accused me, they stood by me through that time. I made that public in 2014, almost 10 years ago. I received so much support for that, for standing up to that, because those are the right things to do. Is when there's an injustice, you fucking talk about it. You don't sweep it under the rug. You fight it. So there's always been a hole in my heart, knowing that my daughter had to go through those things, which were completely unnecessary, because this was a woman that was 100% jealous, 100% full of rage, and wanted to control, and she lost control. So the only way that she can gain back control was to spit out a fucking disturbing allegation like the one I just read you. Now, for people tuning in, I'm going to post this video after this. This will be available. Again, I'm going to urge everybody to share this, because this is something that the media has not wanted to cover. And why? Because, again, the truth hurts. And it does. Believe me. You're seeing me cry here on live. But it's necessary. Because if this was a mother that was speaking, I can fucking guarantee you that it would be all over the place. So it should be no different that a father is here speaking about these things, protecting his daughter, protecting his son. Because that's what a father does. And that's what a fucking warrior does, is they protect. Now, as I said, these allegations were brought into family court first. She ran to family court and accused me. But what she also accused me of was already being charged with one of these offenses that she claimed happened. But I was not. So due diligence on the family court side never happened, because I didn't have a criminal record, and to this day I do not have a criminal record. I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do if I had a criminal record. So think about that. Now, I'm not the only one that this has happened to, because I've heard it many, many times over these past 4 years since I decided to stand up and use my voice. You know, it was 2 months after all of this that I held a protest, a rally for family law reform at the Hamilton Family Courthouse on October 18th of 2019. Because I wasn't having this. And I knew that there was people out there that would stand by me. Maybe family members, maybe friends were coerced into all of this bullshit. But there was people out there that did understand. There was people out there that showed compassion. And they proved it that day by showing up that day and uniting with me. And there was many of them. There was people from all over Ontario. Windsor, Ontario, Toronto, Ontario, Ottawa, Ontario, Brantford, Cambridge, everywhere, all across Ontario, banded that day. So, you know, for a dad who was hit with a silver bullet, I think I did a pretty good job. Now, protection. How do you protect your kids when the court systems allow this? Because they allowed this mother to walk into the family court without evidence, without really anything other than he did this, and I want him punished for it. And as I read already, she was disappointed and extremely angry that the police were not going to arrest me that day. And actually, before I was even interviewed, that police officer came out into the hallway and informed me of what was going on, and informed me that I was not implicated by my daughter at all. I wasn't even implicated for hitting my kids because I don't believe in it. And I didn't even have to be interviewed that day. I could have walked away that day, but I did not. I wanted to know what was going on. I wanted to hear what she was saying. And I did that day. You know, it's disturbing that there's parents out there that are like this. And the majority of the time, these parents are the ones that are in full control. They're the ones that have full custody of their kids because of the initial allegation. And I'm going to tell you right now, folks, it hasn't been easy. I've had to sacrifice nearly my life to fight this, to make this right. Because that was a fucking promise that I made to my kids. Is that Dad was going to make this right. It didn't matter how, and it didn't matter how long it took. I would make this right. And again, I think I've done a pretty good job. You know, this morning, I spent an hour talking with a mother from Australia who has a family member going through this exact process. And this process ruined him. And I told that mother that I understood, because it nearly did me too. There was a time where I was in the darkest of dark that you could ever imagine. But something tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Rich, you got more purpose than this, man. You need to fight this. And I'm choosing you to fight this." So I have. And I will make sacrifice after sacrifice. Because I have to. I made that promise to my kids. that I won't give up. And I wouldn't be like their mother. You know, it was a time where I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't cry unalive. But how else is somebody supposed to see this? How else is this supposed to resonate in the public's eye? How else is this supposed to resonate in our court system, our government? Our Prime Minister right now of Canada, Justin Trudeau. I hope you fucking watch this, motherfucker. Because for 4 years I've been trying to get your attention. Now you're going through a separation. You're going to be going through a divorce. What happens if your wife, Sophie, decides that she wants to say that you sexually assaulted your kids, or you beat the shit out of her, or you sexually assaulted her? What are you going to do then? Because I can guarantee you that's going to be plastered all over the media. And there's going to be people like me that are going to question it. Because you didn't have our backs. You threw us to the fucking curb. You disregarded us, just like you disregard 90% of the Canadians. The homeless population in Hamilton is fucking sickening. And I'm strong with that. Because I was there. I've been homeless because of this. I've lost everything because of this. But I didn't lose myself. If anything, I found myself. I found myself throughout this rubble, throughout this war. Because those 8 silver bullets that I took, I shielded them. Because that's what a warrior does. We grab our sword, we grab our shield, and we move forward. We have courage. Doesn't mean we don't have fear. The courage means that the fear is there, and we walk through it despite it. Now, I contemplated on even sharing this, because this is something that my daughter did. But again, it's important because this is going to show the type of person that I had to deal with. And yes, I did leave her. And yes, I did leave her for a friend of ours. Can you blame me? Can you really blame me? This is the type of person that I had to deal with. The jealousy. That always I'm the victim. Because I don't consider myself a victim. I don't consider myself a survivor. I consider myself a warrior. Because that's what warriors do. We fight. And we continue to fight. Like I said, I spoke with Bill Corbett the other day on a live. And he knows this is a war. You know, he's out in Georgia. And they're doing amazing things for veterans that are going through this. And I am proud to be affiliated with Veteran Fathers. And I'm proud to be affiliated with many different organizations all over the world. Because that's what we've had to do. We've had to unite. We've had to speak our truth, whether it hurts or not. So I had mentioned a journal in this document that I read. The only piece of evidence that my ex-wife actually did bring forth was fabricated. And again, it's going to pain me to even talk about it because you know, my daughter did have and does have some learning disabilities, just like myself. Living with ADHD, living with anxiety, and living with PTSD is a lifelong journey. But there shouldn't be people out there that abuse it. There shouldn't be people out there that twist it and use that against you. Now at this time, my daughter was, I would say, not very good at printing and writing, and a lot of her words were misspelled, as she suffers from dyslexia. So it's very hard to read some of her words. But I'm proud of her today because I know that that has changed, because she worked hard for that, despite what her mother has done. And she probably doesn't even know what her mother has done. But one day she will, because one day she will see this. And she will ask her mother, why? My daughter is also very artistic. Due to my ex-girlfriend being artistic and supporting her with that, working with her on that, painting with her, drawing with her, showing her techniques. Because that's how they bonded. You know, my ex-wife, she took that away from them. And she also took that away from me. Because obviously, we had to end that relationship, and we didn't want to. I'm telling you right now. You know, I have a stepdaughter out there as well, which I raised for almost 3 years. And to this day, I still consider her a stepdaughter. Because that love doesn't go away. Just like my love for my kids doesn't go away. So I know not everybody is going to be able to see this document that I'm about to show, because of my camera being backwards. But you're going to get the gist of it. Now, there's a YouTube series out there for kids, and it's called Gacha Life. I don't know if you're familiar with it. I wasn't even really familiar with it, but I knew about it. And why I knew about it is because I know what my kids were doing. So my daughter was interested in this series, and she made some drawings that come from this series. These were the so-called journal, diary, whatever you want to call it, that was found. Which I don't believe was found. This was just used against me. This was just fabricated evidence that was used against me to try and pin this on me. But in the end, it did not work, because it's not true. So what you're going to see is a drawing from a child that drew about being back to school. Now, right here is a report card that says A+. This is a school bus. These are children playing, having fun. Now, like I said, my daughter is dyslexic, and you can't really read it that well, but I can, because I'm her father, and I understood what she was going through. So I can read it, no problem. And what it says is back to school now. That's exactly what it says. I've had professionals look at this, and they have agreed that that's what it says. My ex-wife on this day changed it to say, "Dick, too good." To make it seem like it was sexually explicit. To make it seem like this child obviously had gone through some sort of sexual encounter. But she did not. Because this mother wrote this on here. Dick, too good. Who the fuck does that? What kind of demented mind uses their own child to try and get back at their ex? That's what I want to know. Because again, like I said, I've lost many family members over this. I've lost many friends over this. I've lost jobs over this. Because they were so naive and coerced that they believed it. But what I just showed you there was innocent. This was an innocent child at the time depicting a picture of something that she's seen from a show that she watches on YouTube. Again, called Gotcha Life, and you can look it up. Because trust me, I did. And it's there. So it does not say Dick Too Good. It says back to school now. Exactly what she drew about. So this is the type of woman that I've had to deal with for the last 4 years when it comes to the allegations, when it comes to the alienation, and when it comes to losing most of my friends and family because of it. Now, I'm not heartbroken over the friends and family that I've lost. Some of them have surprised me, like I said, but I'm not heartbroken. Because in my eyes, they were not true. You did not have my back. You went along with the lies. And in turn, you became my enemy. So this is why 100% folks that I do what I do. Because I don't just do this for my kids. I do this for your kids too. Because I do understand that there's many of you out there that are fearful. And rightfully so. Because if this can happen without any type of evidence, there's going to be some fear there. But what I've done for 4 years is face that fucking fear straight in the face and ran through it with courage. And like I said, I'll continue to sacrifice. I will continue to raise my voice. I will continue to fight this battle because we are that close. And I am telling you the truth. We are that close to opening up something that people have been waiting for decades. It is coming. I've been telling people for the last couple of months, you've seen all the support that A Father's Truth has had. I've gotten support from Russell Peters, which is one of the largest and most known comedians in the world. And he has my back. Cuttino Mobley, an NBA great. He has my back. Josh Powell, an NBA great. He has my back. My buddy Rizwan Khan, who's been commenting. Sorry, bro. He has my back. An actor from the UK, completely different country, has my back. Yana Hurd, a mother who went through alienation as a child herself and then decided to dedicate her life to helping fathers reconnect with their daughters. She has my back. Bill Corbett, a veteran, a former federal agent with the FBI. He has my back. I have an army behind me. We have an army behind us. And there was a time where I tried to take positivity out of this. I tried to go the positive route. But there's so many parents out there that struggle. There's so many parents out there that don't make it. I've talked with them. And that's what hurts. is when a parent goes through this and ends up losing their life because of it. Josh, I was just talking about you, bro, with, the support that I've had around the world, and you're one of them. I appreciate you, but like there's no tomorrow, because you understand. And Josh Powell just joined the live. And this is a guy as well that right now is in the big three. He's very busy, has his own podcast that he just launched, and still finds the time to reach out, show support, ask me how I'm doing. And that's what this is all about, is the unity that we gain from speaking out about it. The understanding that people have when you start talking about these things. And the true compassion that we all need to have when we know somebody that goes through this. There's many people that I know that struggle every day. And I even struggle. That's not a secret. I don't hide that. There's no point in hiding it. Because it's what people need to hear. Is, do I struggle? Fuck, of course I do. But deep down, and because the universe and God tapped me on the shoulder and gave me this path, gave me this choice. And it was a choice that I had to go with. And it's a choice that I'll go to my grave. So again, everybody, this was a very, very difficult live episode to get through. You've all seen it. But it was necessary. And it's necessary because we need these laws changed. When somebody falsely accuses a parent to be malicious, to be vindictive, we have to speak out about it. And we have to change as society to be more compassionate, to be more understanding, and unite. That's how we succeed, and that's how we change these laws. Now again, because of a lot of different elements that were in my own case, and I read you one, and that was the most disturbing. And it's been very hard for me for 4 years to know that somebody used my past, something that was disturbing and very disgusting that happened to me as a kid, used that and twisted it around. And that was their excuse that they brought to the table, was because I was sexually assaulted as a child meant that I sexually assaulted my own daughter. People like this do not deserve to be parents. I am all one for 50-50, equal shared parenting. But in situations like this is very detrimental to our children. I've been putting out videos with facts steadily, which show what happens, which show percentages. These are facts, folks. I didn't make these things up. But I am a statistic in these things. So this is a war. And we have to treat it as such. There's no more time for being nice. Because nobody was nice to me during the 16 months that I had to fight to be exonerated of these allegations. Because like I said, I was eventually charged. Not on that allegation, because I just read you the proof that I was never implicated once. The implication was solely on my ex-wife, the mother. So we have to band together, and which is why that at some point in the very near future, I will be working with organizations around Canada and around the world to file a class action lawsuit against our government, against our family courts, against the Children's Aid Society for not protecting my kids and not protecting your kids in these situations. This will happen, and this is what is going to change our laws. We need to hold every single person accountable for their actions and their involvement in the illegal kidnapping of our children, because that's exactly what it is. Many people know that I've just recently started a Father's Truth Foundation. It is official. We're waiting on certain things to actually be finalized, and then we are going to be starting next week. Actually today, I'm going to be starting heavily a campaign to get funds, to put the people in charge on notice that we're coming for you. Enough is enough. The truth will set us all free, including our kids. So I appreciate everybody for tuning in. Once again, I've said it numerous times throughout this video. Please share this video. Every single platform that you have, share it. I'm on almost all of them now. And maybe to some, these messages are a little bit much, but they're necessary. Because to those people that think that, I have one question for you. What are you doing? What are you doing to create change? Because sitting at home doing nothing is just as guilty as the parties that bring these conflicts. So enough is enough. Stand, unite. You have friends, family that go through this. Support them. Don't disregard them. Support them. Because they need your support. I need your support. I appreciate that, Matt. You know, and before I end, Matt Ellis, he let me know that he's from London, Ontario, and he let me know that his law firm that he deals with backs a Father's Truth. They support us. They support in what we're doing. Because although I've said that most lawyers don't give a shit, most lawyers only care about money, that is the truth. But there are some that want this to end. Because I can imagine being a lawyer, this weighs heavily on these people. You know, I have a paralegal background. I have a background in private investigating. And I can tell you right now that I would not be able to live every day and not do something about this. I'm getting messages, I'm getting everything right now, and I appreciate it, folks. I really do. Because once again, this is an epidemic that is happening around the world. Canada, the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, Ireland, South Africa, you name it, Japan. So we have to, as society, as the truth seekers, stand up for it. It's the only way that we're going to win. And we will. Because no matter what, I have always believed. I've always believed that these things will change. So trust me when I say this, because this is a Father's truth, that it will change. We are coming. Enough is enough. I appreciate everybody for tuning in tonight. I will have this video posted as soon as possible. Once again, I'm going to say it over and over. Please share this video. If you know people that are in media, share this. Let's see if they're going to do anything about it. Because if they don't, I'm putting them on notice as well. I've already unfollowed many people because of it. And I've unfollowed some people that I actually looked up to. But if you are going to hide from the truth, you're part of the problem. Enough is enough, folks. We're coming.